So I think self-reliance is a consequence of the history, but also laid the foundation for a better, high-quality, multilateral collaboration.
There's genuine competition in a number of areas, but threats, I think, are exaggerated based on either outdated ideas or alternatively miscommunication.
The recommendations for China's 15th five-year plan emphasize building a modernized industrial system and accelerating high-level self-reliance in science and technology. On this episode of Understand China, meet Martin Lockett, professor in strategic management at Nottingham University Business School, China, sitting down with Ji Deqiang, professor and director of the National Center for Communication Innovation Studies at the Communication University of China, on how China's scientific and technological self-reliance will influence its economic growth and global innovation.
There are a lot of discussion at this moment targeting China's rise of technical strengths. For example, they were talking about whether China will be further decoupling with the US and other big tech powers.
On the one hand, you have the idea of self-reliance, and people sometimes see that as decoupling. On the other hand, you have the benefits of cooperation.
Yeah.
But what I really would stress, I think, is there are different types of self-reliance. To me, what a good self-reliance means is, on the one hand, to have the ability to have key products, services, and so on, be able to run without having to rely absolutely on one place or a small number of places. But equally, to think, well, if we're going to have a really productive world economy, we're going to have productive cooperation. Now, the challenge is to do both at the same time.
Right.
Now, in international business, people talk about that as ambidexterity.
I think from my point of view, I think for some core technology, like big data, like artificial intelligence, like algorithm, like the chips, the country like China, as big as China, should manage something that in their own hand to be able to develop our technical strengths for security and for the domestic market to avoid any kind of real decoupling happened that our industry will be in risk. From historical background, I think self-reliance is very important for a country like China, too big, always pursuing independence in international relations. But at the same time, I think the self-reliance doesn't mean closeness. I think for most of the market issue, I think China really wants to pursue international collaboration.
On the one hand, companies may focus on their domestic market, or they may focus on international expansion. Actually, to be really good, you probably have to do both at the same time.
Right. And the media discussion is always misleading. They always want to focus on the most dramatic issue to attract people's attention. Actually, the China's technical development, especially high-tech development, is both self-reliant and international cooperation-oriented.
One important thing is the change in China's position in the world economy.
Yeah.
Because if you look 20 years ago,
right.
China was a rising power, but it wasn't actually at a level in terms of many industries where people would say, this is world-class quality, but now China has built its own capacity for innovation.
Yeah.
And as a result, that means now that China's position in the world economy has changed.
I think especially for the new industries, like the IT, internet, digital economy, I think China's digital economy is already big enough, but I think this new industry has no limits.
Green technologies is one of the areas where China has been building a leadership position. We talk particularly about electric vehicles, batteries, wind power, solar power.
Yeah.
So we can see that. Now, what China is able to do, and there are some examples of this, is to transfer some of those technologies when it's helping other countries. I looked at one example, which was in South Africa, where I think it's the Diang wind farm. It's quite a big wind farm in an area called Northern Cape, which has had a lot of power cuts.
Yeah.
People say up to 10 hours a day of power disruption, because South Africa is short of electric power. China has been contributing green technology as part of its development. In other areas, the GPS system type system, Beidou, that China has shared with other countries.
Yeah, even the aerospace station, our China's space station also offer a lot of opportunities for international participants.
It's not just in terms of like the tangible products, but also the know-how in the car industry. Mercedes is cooperating with Geely on smart cars. They have a joint venture now. That's an example where they're looking to get the experience from both sides together, to have small electric vehicles that are both high quality, sort of high end, and more affordable, and also faster to market. Western companies as well, thinking of China not merely as a source of low-cost production, but also as a way of doing things.
I think the high-tech or the self-reliance technical policy is really want to prepare ourselves better for the high-level, economic collaboration with the leading companies in the world. It's not only for technical competition, it's for creating more opportunities.
Yeah, I think one of the things here that I would stress as well is that it's not just about production and technology. It's also about being able to meet consumer needs better.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key. There's the potential there for transforming the quality of services using those new technologies so that it can really generate growth, in measuring growth especially by the quality of people's lives. How can a modern industrial system be used not just to produce more, not even just to produce better quality, but also how you can provide experiences and services that improve people's lives.
I think high tech really already penetrating in almost every corner of Chinese urban society or the rural society. People to think about how better our life could be, like the online payment system and also the robot system or even the car without driver. I think this is something that China really explored, even heading in a way the world to make our people's life more diverse and more vibrant in a digital society. I think the high tech in China is widely used in both economy, everyday life.
There's a potential to help support some of the longer term challenges that China's facing. So one example of that is an aging population. And we've been doing some research at the University of Nottingham in Ningbo on aging people and how they use health technology. And that again is all about adding value in a modern industrial system that's not just about the transistors, the chips that are used, but it's about the way in which it's used in wider business and wider society.
Is China's push of strengthening high-level sci-tech self-reliance mainly a reaction to external constraints or a proactive long-term strategy? There is a concern about China dominating everything. Is the concern valid?
I think it's both proactive and reactive. It's proactive because if you look at what's been happening in the world economy with the disruptions from conflicts, trade disputes and so on, then there's been a proactive side of that in establishing a level of self-reliance. It's also, I think, reactive at the moment to some very specific developments, especially what's been happening with the US. The questions that are said about China wanting to take over everything, they're coming in some ways from China's success. So success in manufacturing and in other areas.
I think we really need to talk more to the rest of the world and to the international audience. Actually, China has no kind of ambition for dominating everything. I think China had this kind of sense of responsibility to develop this high-tech supported digital economy for ourselves in the first place, but also help developing countries to develop their own digital economy, not only for themselves, but also for the future, more collaboration, more connectivity, and more shared market, benefits.
There's then a perception everything is from China.
Right.
Now that isn't necessarily accurate, but the perception and the change means that it has to be, I think, recognized and addressed. On the one hand, promotion of imports into China from those countries, and on the other hand, conversion from just purely exporting products towards investing, creating jobs in those countries. So when we look at infrastructure, we're not just talking about bridges, roads, railways.
That's right.
We're also talking about the digital infrastructure.
Digital infrastructure, yes.
Yeah, and helping build that. Innovation is going to be critical to China's future development.
I think the high-tech sector in China is critically important for our economic growth, for the social benefits, and for the international collaboration. China would like to offer more information for people who really want to understand China's path towards modernization. And we also want to get more lessons and more experiences from other parts of the world. I think dialogue really, really matters.